Whoa, crazy, we're finally starting on a new cosplay. Yay! Welcome back to the Fluffy Tail household, where there's nothing but good fuzzy vibes here. I decided to start on a new cosplay. This cosplay has actually been in the works for a bit, but today we're gonna reveal it. It is Alone from Little Nightmares 3. As of this recording, which I am recording this right now, it is January 14th. 14th? Yeah, it's January 14th. So Little Nightmares 3 has not come out yet, but when this video comes out, maybe it'll be out. I'm not really sure. But either way, this cosplay has been one that I've been wanting to make for a while since I saw the promotion of it. And yeah, so today we are only going to focus on the helmet piece, and we'll get started on that. So I will walk you guys through whatever process I'm going through, and we're just going to have fun with it. So let's go! Sorry for the look and the loud noises. After doing extensive research, aka watching one YouTube video, I'm going to dye this wig orange. I had to turn off the camera. This kind of splashed when I poured it out, and I was kind of scared. So, yeah, but I'm gonna rinse it off. I didn't put it in for the full, 30 minutes. This wig was already, turning almost red, which I don't want. So, I'm gonna rinse it out now and see how it goes. Well, it's orange, but it's like a Merida orange, which really isn't what I wanted. I wanted a really, really light orange. I shouldn't have kept it in there for so long. The instructions said half an hour to an hour, but I should have just eyeballed it. So now I know for next time to eyeball it. If this doesn't lighten up, or when it dries, because it's still a little damp, if it doesn't lighten up, then I'm going to have to move on to plan B and spend a little bit of money just on a wig alone. Not a very expensive wig. I'm going to buy the cheapest light orange wig I could possibly find. So, yeah, but this will work for my other character that I mentioned. So, now I got an orange wig. Alright guys, I'm gonna start crimping this wig. She's looking crispy. I left her in the bag for maybe a few too many weeks. And unfortunately I got sick right after I made the dye video, like a week or two after I got sick, and not because of the dye. Don't think it was because of that. It's because I got some kind of like respiratory thing. I'm not sure what happened, but and then the holiday stuff really caught up to me, so I really couldn't work on this. But today I'm going to get it done. Since she's already crispy, I think I'm just gonna go in with the crimper. I put it on the lowest setting, so we'll see how that goes. And I'm gonna start doing it from the bottom up, and we'll see. Well, that was the first strand. It didn't go as bad. I was struggling a little bit. My bathroom is really, really small, like incredibly tiny. So it's like I only have so much room to brush and work. But I'm gonna try and get as many of the other strands as I can. Honestly, all I really need is these bottom strands. So I can cut them off and use them for the pigtail pieces. But I do want to at least attempt to crimp this wig as much as I can. And that way I can use any extra fibers, like maybe on a different cosplay. So we're going to keep going, see how long it takes. Hopefully, at least for the bottom part or whatever strands I get, you know. Alright, I got a lot of this side done. It is very staticky looking, but that's okay. I mean, like once I cut off the wefts and like glue them down, maybe the static will work in my favor, because her hair it looks almost staticky. It looks like a staticky mess at the top, so I think that's gonna work. I'm gonna continue on this and see where it goes. Okay, so let's start on the other side. Alright, I finished her, or at least top layer, what I could. Again, this is a really old wig, so I didn't expect much of it. I tried to crimp it out as much as I could, try to straighten it as much as I could. It's not as bad as it was. But now I'm ready to move on to the next part, which, thank goodness, because I'm not a crimper, I'm not a wig stylist in any fashion, so I'm so glad to be done with this part. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next part. Alone has a little helmet, so what I'm going to do is wrap my head in saran wrap, and then I'm going to duct tape it, and then I'm going to draw off where I want the pattern. So I definitely want it down here close to my eyebrows so that this whole part is covered and this whole part is covered. Definitely want all of this covered to the back. So I'm going to get started on that. Okay, that didn't take too long at all. It looks pretty good, pretty covered. Now I'm gonna outline where I want it. As you guys can see in the picture, hopefully it can focus. As you guys can see in the picture, her helmet is covering almost all of her head, and then her eyes are covered by her goggles, and the rest of her outfit covers her chin. So I want to make sure that every part of my face is going to be covered. Alright, I'm going to start on the outline. I'm going to need the mirror for this, so if I turn away, that's why. Okay, I marked up some of the places. So I marked the middle, right side, left side. I marked where the little pigtail holes are gonna go, and I marked where like the ear padding is gonna go. This side has like a long little belt hanging off of it, so I'm gonna put that as the belt side too. Belt side. I know it looks a little sloppy, but that is okay. When I cut out the pattern, I will make sure to make little marks because this is on a curve. So I want to make sure that everything, when I cut it out, it'll line up the way it's supposed to. But other than that, I can take this off my head. I can do the back real quick. I could try to line the back as best as I can. Like just following it. It might be a little sloppy, but yeah. I think that's what I'm going to go with. And that is my pattern. Now that the pattern is down on the fabric, I'm going to draw a 1/2 inch around all of the patterns, so when I cut it out and sew it together, it should be the right circumference to what I put on my head. So as you can see, I made a lot of adjustments off camera, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the axis, and I'm going to rip this apart and make a brand new pattern. I think what happened was with the cellophane and the duct tape, the cellophane might have got bunched up a little bit too much in certain areas. So I want to make sure that this lining layer is going to fit snugly around my head. It already does fit pretty snug, but this, as you can see, this part is jetting out a little bit, whereas this part is right up against it, and then this is up a little bit too high for my liking. My ear's down here, this is up here. So I think I want it a little bit more like this one, because I don't mind that this is jetting out a little bit. But it is right where my ear is, so I am going to cut and make a new pattern. After about an hour of fiddling, I think I've got it. This looks really good. It looks the way I want it, and if I'm calculating everything correctly, the collar will come up here to my nose, and the goggles will cover the rest of this part. Now that I have my official lining, I'm gonna cut out on the fashion fabric. So this is the fabric I chose. I'm just gonna flip it. It's like this cool, like fake pleather that looks all crackled and stuff. I don't know, I just thought it looked really cool. But I am also gonna cut out like a little bit extra on the bottoms here. And the reason why I'm doing that is to basically make my own bias tape or my own trim tape, so I can fold it underneath and sew. it's a little strange to look at, but I trust the process. This would probably work better with like the uwu or whatever that glue is called. But I'd rather use something non-toxic, and I think Mod Podge works just fine. These are going to be at the end of the wefts, and they're going to be hot glued down anyway, so nobody's really going to even see this part. But I think that's more than enough. I do have 2 pigtails, but again, they're not going to be very big pigtails, so I think this should be good. Now I'm going to find where I'm going to put the pigtails. I'm just going to cut a hole in the fashion layer and glue it to the inside layer. That way it's not sticking out from the inside. I have a structure already put in place, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a hole. I'm going to slip that structure through, and then I'm going to start gluing hair around the structure. So after doing some fiddling off camera, I was able to cut a hole and put the structure in. Oh, it looks awesome. So I didn't make the hole very big. I wanted to kind of squish the fabric around it, so that's kind of what it looks from the side. And what I did, I feel like this is very ingenious of me, is I took some trash, some useful trash. So I took a toilet paper roll and I cut it in half, and I kind of made like this little tube shape out of it. And then I took a key ring and slipped it on the bottom. So I just wanted the tube to be as big as the key ring. And then I cut little notches so it'll stop right when I put it up into the hat. And I glued felt around it. And it made this. So this is just on the top layer of the hat. It's looking a little Shrek-esque right now. But I'm going to continue with this process, and then I'm going to start gluing the hair around. So you're not going to see all of this like ugliness on the bottom of it. And I'm going to get started with that. Wow, okay, this worked out better than I expected it to. I do need to cut them down and style them, but otherwise just gluing the wefts to the little pigtail structure I made worked out great. I am going to cut out a ring of this fabric and kind of lay it around the pigtail structure just to make it like look nice there, because it's looking a little bulky, a little gross. But otherwise, now I'm just gonna style these. Alright, we last left off on me doing the pigtails, and they are done. They are finally done. I did add the little piece of fabric like I said I was going to add. And I finally whip stitched the lining and the fashion layer together. I don't know if I can get it to focus. There we go. Yeah, but I whip stitched them together. So now that they're finally together, I can move on to the little ear puffs. So they're on the side of her hat. There are little ear puffs or a little padding, I would say. So I am going to make the padding out of the same material. There's one pad without a strap, and then there's another pad with the straps. So my method for the goggles is pretty simple. I found this empty roll of duct tape and I just kind of put it up to my eye just to measure. It's a pretty good size, so I'm going to use this and I'm going to cut it out of 2 pieces of foam that I have left over. I try to look through all my scraps before I use anything new. Here's the scrap foam in question. So I'm just going to cut out circles. I'm going to cut out 2 each. That way I can sandwich it together. I have fabric that is see-through, and I can sandwich that in between the two goggles. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to glue them together, and then I'm going to go in with a Dremel and Dremel them down. I did sand these down off camera. My plan is to sandwich a sheer black fabric in between the goggles. I'm just going to hot glue it, and then on the outside I'm going to use foam clay to seal up that gap that we have right here. And then I'm going to Mod Podge, paint it, and I'm hoping, if everything goes as planned, I'm going to try and cut a little area in the back for some magnets. And I want to make like just little tabs right here, little brown tabs with other magnets in it. So the goggles can just magnetize to the helmet. And that way, if I ever want to like take the goggles off, I can just take them right off. The goggles are done, guys. I added some little details on them. I'm kind of glad that the foam clay kind of built up in some areas. It looks like there's a bunch of gunk on them, which is great because it looks like they were subjected to the elements. But this is good. So the magnets didn't really work out like I wanted them to. I just hot glued the top of the goggles to the helmet. It kind of sticks out a bit, but that kind of works in my favor because when I do the collar piece, I'm able to slip the collar underneath. But I will show you guys with it on. Ta-da! This is it on. I can fully see through the goggles. The side, like I said, it jets out a little bit, but that will help with the collar placement.
But otherwise, I really loved how it turned out. It turned out so good. I got the little strap details. The hat fits like perfectly on my head. It feels like it's not gonna fall off. I can like shake my head. It won't fall off. The pigtails look great. They're jetting out and they look all like frazzled like in the picture. So that's part one of this project finally finished. Next time you guys see me, I will be working on the outfit and the shoes. But that's it. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye!